Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Be life-threatening, and that's exactly what we have going on right now. In addition to that, we still have at least a possibility of it all across that whole big green area from Indianapolis down to the east of Dallas. So this is a lot of folks. Then we got a secondary area here into the southeast, but we're going to talk more about that zone a little bit later. So I want to focus in on what's going on in Arkansas. We've had a lot of complexes bringing some really heavy rainfall, and that is causing flood issues. We've got urban flooding, but we also have some river flooding taking place. And when these high-risk days happen, 35% of fatalities that typically occur in a year happen during a high-risk day. So that tells you need to take today extremely seriously. We've got a flash flood emergency that was just issued now here. This is eastern parts of our Arkansas. This right here is the Mississippi River. There you can see the town of Dumas. Doppler radar is estimating we've had anywhere between 10 and 15 inches of rain that has fallen here. 10 to 15 inches. So that could be well over a foot in some areas. There are homes that are taking on water. I believe there have been some high water rescues taking place because of vehicles as well. You absolutely do not want to drive in either of these areas right now. Unless you have to get away, unless it's more dangerous to stay where you are, right? Keep that in mind. But then generally you want to try and evacuate up potentially. So Bolivar as well as Sunflower counties. This includes the city of Cleveland, Ruleville, and Shelby, also under that flash flood emergency. So very dangerous situation ongoing right now. We have a watch, so the watch means conditions are favorable for flash flooding to happen, and that extends from northeastern Texas through Texarkana all the way up into parts of Mississippi. Now, Mississippi also getting in on some of the flooding action, and we've seen rainfall amounts within this area. Even that red beginning to pop up, so that's more than 8 inches of rain being estimated by radar. And here's that purple or pink color indicating the area where it may be more than 12 inches of rainfall. Do we have the image? Yes, we have new pictures just in showing you some of the flooding here in North Mississippi. This flooding to happen, and that extends from northeastern Texas through Texarkana all the way up into parts of Mississippi. Now, Mississippi also getting in on some of the flooding action, and we've seen rainfall amounts within this area. Even that red beginning to pop up, so that's more than 8 inches of rain being estimated by radar. And here's that purple or pink color indicating the area where it may be more than 12 inches of rainfall. Do we have the image? Yes, we have new pictures just in showing you some of the flooding here in North Mississippi. This is Lafayette County near Oxford. So there you can see the depth of the water here. That's a vehicle, and that vehicle has its headlights on. Hopefully nobody's in it. I don't see anybody in it, but this is in a neighborhood, right? That's scary stuff when you see things like that. So hopefully that person made it out to safety and everybody makes it out okay. There's still a flash flood warning in effect for that very area that includes you in Oxford until 2 o'clock. The threat is considerable, so that does mean that it is life-threatening. So there you can see some of the flood reports that we've had on top of the radar. This is in the Ebb area where we've got some highways which are being closed down. Never drive around the barrier either. Something to keep in mind here. We also have an estimate of rainfall. This is just outside of Tupelo here in the city of Shelby, where we've had more than 9 inches of rain recorded. That's recorded, not just estimated. So we've got some ground truth on that. So this whole area has been seeing the torrential downpours. This has been going on for a couple of days here. So no wonder we have so many warnings. Our storms just aren't moving very quickly. They're repeating themselves on top of each other. So that is a setup for significant flooding. There's a few more queries of some of the rainfall estimates, 6, 7, 8 inches of rainfall. So this is going to be a dangerous story, a dangerous situation that we need to follow, Colleen, through the rest of the day for today. And we still could see flooding in some of these areas, even as we head into tomorrow.
And when you see photos of that, of the neighborhood, and it's not over yet. We have more rain coming. And then on top of that, I got to talk.
Action right now across parts of New York State into Massachusetts and into northeastern parts of Pennsylvania. We've got some warnings that include you just outside of Poughkeepsie and on towards Newburgh. This is for Orange County until 2:30. We've got a lot of lightning and some damaging winds potentially with these storms, and then Dutchess and Ulster counties until 2:15. So make sure you stay put. Wait till those storms and those warnings pass before you venture back on out. Then Springfield here in Massachusetts also under a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is for Hampton as well as Hampshire counties. Chicopee also included in that warning, as well as Westfield. Heavy downpours and perhaps some marginally severe hail can be expected with that. We also have the heat. The heat advisories are on again, and that includes you in Boston to Hartford, down towards Providence, just outside of New York City, including you in Newark, and down towards Philadelphia, where the feels-like temperatures are going to be reaching dangerous levels at times today. We already have temperatures well into the 80s and 90s, even into some spots. And look at the differences here. For example, Boston at 93 degrees, while Binghamton is at 79. So you can really see where some of these thunderstorms have been developing, where some of the cloud cover has been. So we've got a frontal boundary that's laying up towards your north right now. This is going to actually work its way southward with time. By the end of the week, we call it backdoor cold front. We'll watch those winds then come in, influencing off the Atlantic and help to bring those temperatures down pretty significantly. So we're going from 90s in most areas, dropping down into the 60s and 70s by the end of the week. And we'll see some showers and thunderstorms in between, especially with the passage of that front as that continues to push through across the region. So Friday, not a good travel day, not a good beach day or outdoor day either. But by Saturday, while we'll be on the cool side, a lot of the areas are going to start to work on drying out into the weekend. In the meantime, Colleen, it's not just the Northeast dealing with heat. We've got that in other parts of the country, too.
Yeah, and Jackie, I like your dress.
I like your dress. You have great taste. It matches your map.
You do, too. We did not plan this, we promise, but we are matching the maps today, not just talking about severe weather, but also the heat. Jackie just touched on the heat advisories in the Northeast. Now I'm going to be touching on the heat advisories for Minneapolis. This goes through Thursday. This heat advisory, temperatures are going to be in the 90s, and then when you factor in the humidity, it's going to be feeling sticky outside. So, hey, summer is here. Here's a look at Minneapolis. Your high temperatures on Wednesday, you could be flirting with records. Other than that, you'll be just below it. But hey, look at this upper 90s there on Thursday. You don't really see a bit of a break until Saturday, 89 degrees. So over the next several days, the heat is going to be there with you to stay for quite some time. Now, for the middle of this week, we're really going to start to see the heat building for the Central Plains all the way up into the northern tier of the U.S. as we have the 90s there in Fargo. Upper disturbance keeping with that unsettled weather pattern for the southern side, also the southeast part of the United States. But high pressure is going to be building in, really starting to strengthen for the weekend. And that means the heat is going to be moving into parts of West Texas, getting up across the Central Plains. We could be looking at triple digits there in parts of New Mexico and Arizona. And we could also be looking at records falling once again as we head through Thursday and Friday. Look at these forecast highs for some of these locations, North Dakota all the way into Texas. Record highs are in the triple digits, but Jackie, it's going to be a close call for a lot of these cities.
Yeah, that is really hot really soon,
yes.
I feel like, in places that aren't used to that kind of weather. Colleen, we've got a new severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued. So breaking new information here. This is for parts of Louisiana and Arkansas and western parts of Mississippi until 7 o'clock tonight. So just east of Shreveport over towards Monroe and Greenville. These already are areas that have been getting hit hard with some scattered thunderstorms. We'll be watching for new storms to develop later on today, even though there are a few out there right now. I think especially as we head into tonight into eastern parts of Montana through the western Dakotas and the panhandle of Nebraska. Large hail makers initially, and then a couple of tornadoes will be possible. The Torcons are 2 and 3, so not a huge tornado threat. I think hail is going to be the primary threat, and then evolving into a wind damage threat later on tonight after dark. Here you can see some clustering of thunderstorms getting started here in central parts of North Dakota. And as we look at our future radar, you can see that area will continue to stay unsettled, most likely through the rest of the afternoon, with new storm development and perhaps a little bit of training. And then with time, we'll watch things begin to fire up with that cold front as things develop and head off from the west towards the east from the northern Rockies. So Rapid City stretching on up towards Glendive. You will likely see some stormy times 9, 10, 11 o'clock for tonight, and that will all push eastward through the overnight hours and start to diminish a little bit, especially after we lose some of the heating of the day. As we head into tomorrow, we do expect more storms to begin to develop again into Montana. This is the next little upper disturbance that's going to be tracking through to bring another round of strong to severe storms. Again, primarily some large hail and damaging winds. That will move farther off towards the the east on your Thursday. So some of the zones that are going to be getting hit today and into tonight will likely get a brief break before you get back in the action again on your Thursday. So Minot to Bismarck, Pierre, Rapid City, Valentine, Nebraska all need to be weather alert Thursday.